Welcome to the 307A Steamfitter CFQ, Industrial Mechanical Last Mile Playbook for the Province of Ontario. This video outlines your last mile roadmap in 8 sections, covering everything from placement and hours to the exam and steps to take after passing.
Section 1. The Placement Problem. 8,280 hours of work-based training. Saying just go get an apprenticeship is tone-deaf when industrial mechanical shops are concentrated, capital-intensive, and most run through the United Association. 3 legitimate entry paths. 1. UA Local Apprenticeship. The unionization rate for steamfitters in Ontario is substantially higher than for plumbers. Most industrial mechanical contracting on hospitals, generating stations, refineries, chemical plants, and large institutional projects runs through UA locals. Local 46 covers Toronto and Barrie. Local 67 covers Hamilton and Niagara. Local 71 covers Ottawa, Gatineau, and Cornwall. Local 401 covers Kingston and Oshawa. Local 527 covers Windsor, Kitchener-Waterloo, and London. Local 663 covers Sarnia, the petrochemical corridor. Local 800 covers Sudbury, mining and smelter work. Local 628 covers Thunder Bay. 2. Direct hire at a non-union mechanical contractor. Concentrated in smaller commercial mechanical and rural service, less common for major industrial work. 3. College Pipefitter Program. Mohawk College and Lambton College run dedicated 307A apprenticeship programs. Lambton's location next to the Sarnia petrochemical corridor matters. Here's what most aspiring 307A apprentices don't know. Industrial mechanical projects post their awards publicly. When a generating station overhaul gets awarded, when a refinery turnaround is scheduled, when a hospital expansion breaks ground, the contractors hire. AEC Stack tracks Ontario Industrial Mechanical Contract Awards across hospitals, generating stations, refineries, district energy, and major institutional projects. AECstack.com. Free sign-up. If you already have placement but you're missing exposure, common gaps are high-pressure steam if your shop only does hydronic heating, refrigerant piping if you've never done chilled water plants, refinery and process work if you've stayed in commercial, and medical gas if you've never done institutional. Talk to your UA local about dispatch to fill specific scope gaps. Section 2. Hours and logbook. 8,280 work-based hours under a registered training agreement. 720 hours of in-school technical training across 3 levels. Standard pace is 5 years. Important curriculum note. Unlike the electrical trades, the 307A program has not announced a 4-level migration. 307A remains 3 levels as of May 2026. Verify on the 307A trade page before relying on this. Logbook discipline. Every competency signed. Every subskill signed with a real date. Sign-offs the same week the work is done. One thing that trips 307A apprentices specifically, welding hours. Welding is often treated as a separate skill set, tracked in a different logbook from your STO logbook. Reconstructing welding documentation after the fact is harder than reconstructing pipe fitting hours because welder qualifications attach to shop PQRs and WPSs, and your UA local maintains parallel welder records. Keep both in sync. Common gaps. High-pressure steam if you've worked hydronic only. Refrigerant piping if you've never done chilled water. Refinery or process work if you've stayed commercial. Medical gas if you've never done institutional. Welding hours missing or undocumented. Very common. Recovery moves. For missing competencies, talk to your sponsor. Steamfitter shops often have agreements with sister shops to swap apprentices for specific scope coverage. UA Dispatch can slot you to fill gaps. For lost paperwork, phone STO at 647-847-3000 or 1-855-299-0028. For welding documentation gaps, reconstruct from your shop's welder qualification logs and your UA local's welder records.
Section 3. Skilled Trades Ontario Eligibility. Once your hours, subskills, and final school transcript are in, STO reviews and issues an eligibility notice. 4 to 8 weeks of paperwork lag. What triggers eligibility for 307A? All 3 school levels complete and passed. 8,280 work-based hours logged. All competencies signed off. Sponsor's final attestation submitted. If 4 to 8 weeks turns into 16, call STO at 647-847-3000. Apprentice ID, sponsor's business number, school name ready. The two common bottlenecks are the school transcript from your training delivery agency or the sponsor's final attestation. Chase the right party in writing. Don't try to book the exam without eligibility on file. STO won't release exam slots until your file is flagged ready.
Section 4. Booking the exam. Book through portal.skilledtradesontario.ca. Sign in with My Ontario account. Pay the exam fee first. Click Examination. Enter your STO ID. Select name and exam type. Indicate accommodations. Choose date, time, and test center. Confirm. Authorization to test letter emailed. Fee structure. Apprentices completing their program on or after January 1st, 2025 get the first attempt fee automatically waived. Rewrites cost $150 US plus HST, $169.50 total. Accommodations must be arranged with STO directly before booking. The portal won't capture them. Reschedule once at no cost with at least 5 business days notice. Don't book before you're ready. Rewrites cost the full fee plus a mandatory 30-day wait. Take the exam when you're scoring 75% or better on timed practice exams.
Section 5. What's on the exam? Written, computer-based, multiple choice. Approximately 125 questions, up to 4 hours. Pass mark, 70%. Confirm the exact question count and duration on your authorization to test letter. Closed book during the exam with on-screen reference materials. Personal calculators, code books, and reference texts all confiscated at check-in. The exam blueprint is harmonized to the Red Seal Steamfitter Pipefitter occupational analysis. Approximate weighting. Lays out and prepares piping systems, roughly 25 questions. Installs and tests power and process piping, 25. Joins piping using mechanical, threaded, brazed, soldered, and welded methods, 20. Installs and tests heating, cooling, and steam systems, 20. Services and maintains piping, 15. Common occupational skills, 15. Codes, drawings, documentation, 5. The reference code stack for 307A is different from any other trade in this series. 5 codes matter. ASME B31.1, power piping. Steam, condensate, and high-pressure water in generating stations and industrial steam plants. ASME B31.3, process piping. Refineries, chemical plants, pharmaceutical plants, food and beverage facilities. ASME B31.9, building services piping. Hydronic systems, low-pressure steam, building systems. CSA B51, boiler, pressure vessel, and pressure piping code, Ontario's adopted standard. CSA W47.1, the Canadian standard for welder qualification, companion to ASME Section 9. Plus CSA Z7396.1 for medical gas pipeline systems if your shop does institutional work.
Section 6. How to prep. STO doesn't publish a 307A specific prep guide. Read the generic Trade Examinations in Ontario Exam Preparation Guide first. Your most valuable resource? Your in-school binders and your textbooks. The exam tests the curriculum you were taught. The closest content syllabus you'll get free? The 307A Apprenticeship Training Standard, the 307A Trade Report from STO, and the Red Seal Steamfitter Pipefitter Occupational Analysis. UA Local Training Resources. If you're a UA apprentice, your local's training center is the dominant prep route for 307A. Member-only access typically includes welder qualification programs, code update training, medical gas certification prep, and combo apprenticeship programs. For paid prep through colleges, Mohawk College and Lambton College run 307A apprenticeship programs. George Brown runs continuing education for 307A. Phone the registrar for course code, fee, and intake. Conestoga, Algonquin, and Centennial run pre-exam offerings intermittently. Verified Ontario-specific 307A exam prep books are thin compared to 306A. Most Steamfitter prep happens through UA training centers rather than published workbooks. Where 307A apprentices actually fail. 1. Hydronic and steam system layout. Visualizing 3D piping arrangements from 2D isometric drawings. 2. Heat transfer and fluid dynamics. Pressure drop, head loss, pipe sizing for steam and condensate, BTU per hour to gallons per minute conversions. 3. ASME B31 code navigation. Knowing which code applies to which system. B31.1 for power, B31.3 for process, B31.9 for building services. Most 307A apprentices know B31.1 cold, but skim B31.3 and B31.9. The exam tests all three. 4. Welding theory. Even welders who learned on the job trip on textbook terminology, polarity, and metallurgy questions. 5. Boiler trim and piping. Connections, blowdown, safety relief, feed water systems. What works? Drill B31.1 and B31.3 navigation by pressure temperature class. Practice the math. Build 3D visualization from isometrics. Timed 4-hour practice exams. Schedule code update training when ASME revisions hit. What doesn't work? Cramming. Memorizing answers from old sample exams. Skipping welding theory if you primarily fit. Skipping process content if you've stayed in commercial heating. Process piping questions appear regardless. Timeline. 4 to 8 weeks of focused review at 10 to 20 hours per week.
Section 7. Exam day. Bring government photo ID, 2 pieces just in case, your printed authorization to test letter, a pen for scratch paper. Provided at the center, on-screen calculator, on-screen reference materials, scratch paper, English and French dictionaries. Cannot bring phone, books, prep workbooks, smartwatch, personal calculators of any kind, ASME or CSA codebooks, any external reference. All confiscated at check-in. Accommodations must be arranged with STO before booking. The portal won't capture them. On screen, 1 question at a time, 4 multiple choice answers, flag for review button, running clock, question counter. Pacing, roughly 125 questions over up to 4 hours, about 1 minute 50 seconds per question. If a question takes more than 3 minutes, flag and move on. Revisit at the end. Most fails come from pacing on calculation questions, not from not knowing the material. Pass or fail shows on screen immediately. Unit level scoring follows by mail or email in a few weeks. The unit level scoring tells you which major work activity to drill before any rewrite. If you fail, 30-day mandatory wait, 169.50 rewrite. The first attempt waiver doesn't apply. Section 8. After you pass. Pass or fail shows on screen immediately. Paper trail follows in 4 to 8 weeks. You receive your 307A Certificate of Qualification, your Apprenticeship Completion Certificate, and your Red Seal endorsement. Red Seal is automatic for 307A at a 70% or better exam score. The full Red Seal title is Steamfitter Pipefitter. Western Canada actively recruits Ontario Red Seal Steamfitters at premium rates. Alberta Oil Sands, BC LNG, Saskatchewan Potash, Prairie Infrastructure. What changes immediately? Wage rate jumps to journeyperson scale, typically 30 to 50% above your final apprentice rate. Now the part that makes 307A different from 306A. There is no master steamfitter license, no steamfitter contractor license, no municipal layer. Instead, your career stretches through a stack of specialty certifications that compound earnings. 1. ASME welder qualifications. ASME Section 9 sets the rules for procedure qualification records, welding procedure specifications, and welder performance qualifications. The workhorse qualification is 6G TIG and stick on carbon steel. 6G TIG on stainless steel opens pharmaceutical, food and beverage, and process work. Welder qualifications expire if not used within typically 6 months on production work. Track renewal with your shop or local. Letting a 6G qualification lapse is expensive to retest. Testing per procedure costs $300 to $700. 2. CSA Medical Gas Piping Installer Certification. Eligibility requires a 306A or 307A C of Q. 36-hour CSA training course plus written and practical exams. $1,000 to $2,000. One of the highest margin specialties in mechanical contracting. Hospital projects pay premium rates and the certified installer pool is small. 3. TSSA Gas Technician Ladder. If your work involves natural gas piping, the G3 to G2 to G1 ladder applies. $225 per level, 75% pass mark. 4. TSSA Pressure Piping Framework. Boilers, pressure vessels, and pressure piping above 103 kilopascals require TSSA registration. You don't typically interact with TSSA directly as a journey person, but understanding the framework matters because it affects scope, schedule for inspection windows, and quality requirements. Your shop's engineering and project management handle registration.
Most successful journeyperson steamfitters stack at least 3 of these within their first 2 years.
To access the full written guide and industrial mechanical awards information, visit aecstack.com. This concludes the Last Mile Playbook for 307A Steamfitter.